Welcome to the Prep Pigskin Report Podcast, hosted by Papa Pig himself, Paul Rudy.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode number 7 of the PPR Podcast. His name is Bert, my name is Paul, and in the middle is Terrell Burgess, a former Silver Pigskin Finalist who now plays on one of the best defenses in the NFL. Hey, Terrell, thank you for doing this.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, Terrell, there's the life in the NFL, and then there's life in the NFL in Los Angeles. Do you ever pinch yourself and, whoa, this is the biggest of the big time?
No, I think the last place I pictured myself being was in LA, but I'm actually happy to be here, so I'm excited to be here for as long as possible.
Hey, Terrell, walk us through, we always talk to guys on this show about, was it a bigger adjustment for you going from high school to college or college to the pros? What was the speed adjustment like? What was the hardest for you?
I think that in regards to speed, I'd say like from high school to college, I don't think that the speed is too much different from college to the NFL. I think it's just like everyone's good at this level, but the speed from high school to college is definitely a difference in speed and difference in, I don't know, I guess difference in the scheme of things when it comes to football.
Well, tell us about your first, damn, these guys are good moment in the NFL.
I don't know if I've had any one of those moments. I mean, there's definitely been times where I've been hit hard, like in the NFL, or like I've been noticing like some things to learn are a little different than college, but these guys are good. I think I just like, I'm blessed to be on a team with a lot of great players. So I think every day I come here and I see some players that like people see around the country and they're like, oh, they're so good. They're on your team. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of just, you just come to work every day. I don't know. It's just like a normal thing now, I guess.
Hey, you're in LA. I remember when I first got to San Diego from Pittsburgh, my biggest celebrity I saw was Ralph Malph. And I saw Ralph Malph from Happy Days and I saw Isaac from Love Boat. You must have a better story or better celebrity sighting.
What's your best celebrity encounter so far?
Best celebrity encounter.
He's got a lot.
Actually, a few weeks ago, I guess he's Jamie Foxx is pretty big. I met him.
Oh yeah, he's an A-lister.
That was pretty cool. I don't know. I don't really get starstruck too much. Like I haven't really got starstruck, but I'd probably say I've met a good amount of people. But Jamie Foxx a few weeks ago, that was pretty cool.
And was that a conversation, or is that just we're at the same place?
No, he had a celebrity softball game like maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, and I got invited to go, and there was actually a bunch of people there. The guy from Joanna Man was there. T.O. was there. There was a bunch of people. Andre Reed was there. There was a bunch of people there. But, yeah, Jamie Foxx was probably a cool one.
Well, hey, part of being in L.A. is you're playing in now what might be one of the 7 wonders of the world. That stadium is,
oh, geez.
Have you been in every nook and cranny yet, or is it too big to actually what's it like?
I think it's too big to actually go around and see every part. The parts that I have seen are absolutely amazing, and the stadium's amazing. If you haven't been to a game, I definitely would advise you to get to one this year, next year, sometime soon, because the stadium is nice. And even the surrounding, they're like building a mall around it. And there's like a little river kind of outside, which is right. It's beautiful. It's probably the nicest stadium I've ever seen.
What's the locker room like?
Oh, beautiful. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of in sections. There's like 4 different sections where they kind of have guys set up. It's really nice. I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, it's got to be the same as San Marcos, right?
Oh yeah. Just exactly the same.
You
as
can't even
San
tell
Marcos.
the difference.
Can't even tell.
I have this right. That's where the Super Bowl is, right? You could pull off a Tampa Bay Buccaneer deal, and where you guys are looking right now, and host your own Super Bowl and play in it.
And that's definitely the plan. I think that's what everybody's goal is to do this year. We're all planning on, playing the best of our abilities, take it one game at a time, but we're excited to get going this week. Actually, we play Tampa this week.
Oh, well, yeah, you guys can talk about it.
Hey, what's it like? Give us a little insight. Playing with Aaron Donald or seeing him play every day.
Oh, he's an amazing player, good guy as well. I think a lot of people have the perception of him that he's like a mean dude, but he gets out there and work. But no, he's a great person. He plays hard. Obviously, everybody sees him go to work every week. And I think it's just I'm blessed to be able to be on a team and play behind him sometimes. When he's playing really well and gets the sacks that he gets, and I don't know. He's a great player. It's nice.
You might not know this, Terrell, but Bert played at Pitt too. Both
okay.
Aaron and Bert are up on the dining room wall.
That's the defensive line wall.
The defensive line wall?
Yeah, he's got a bigger picture than me, and I'm in black and white.
Yeah.
That's beside the point.
Yeah,
Don't worry about the black and white.
I can't help but notice you're rocking the Utes tee. Man, what happened against San Diego State? How the mighty have fallen.
Oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about it. That was a sad game for me to watch. I definitely, obviously, I'm still going to support them, but yeah, that was sad, especially because I grew up watching San Diego State and always wanted to. It would have been nice to be able to play against them, but any team can lose on any given day, and that was just San Diego State game to win, I guess you could say.
Did State offer you?
Yes, they did. They were, I think they're number 3, something like that.
Because we had C.J. Verdell on here last week, and he said he didn't even get offered.
Well, did you ever?
Really? Yeah, they don't offer many San Diego guys for some reason. I don't know why.
Did you ever consider it?
I did, but I also wanted to leave California.
Yeah,
I definitely it came down to it, but I definitely wanted to leave San Diego. I don't know if I'd say California, but I wanted to leave San Diego for sure because I'd been here my whole life.
Hey, what's your advice for guys coming in? We talked about Aaron Donald. I remember at Pitt, he was a 3-star guy and had a couple offers. What's your advice to guys about worrying about stars and recruiting and just going ahead? I mean, what would be your advice looking back to something you'd change? Besides you go to
that's
Pitt.
A good question. I don't even remember if I had any stars, but I think I would say don't get caught up in the hype because honestly, at this point, it doesn't even matter. I think there's more lower star guys in the NFL than there is 5 stars anyway. So if you're good, they'll find you anywhere. I think you just got to put your head down and work and make the best of your opportunities.
Great advice. Speaking of advice, what coach has had the biggest influence on you as you've gone through the race? What biggest influence, best advice?
Biggest influence, I think I'd give credit to all my coaches in my whole lifetime. I think best advice, the one that sticks to me the most would be my college defensive coordinator and safeties coach. He would always say to give more in value than you can receive in payment. And by that, just, always exceed expectations by, doing what you can and going above and beyond.
Hey, what do you guys do now with the rule book? I mean, it's tilted so heavily for, fantasy football and the offensive score. I mean, I watch some games and I don't even know how you play defense anymore. Do you guys, what do you do for that?
I think you have to just be on your P's and Q's. There's so many different things that you can't do. You can't land on the quarterback. You can't do this. You can't do that. If the runner ducks his head, you can't duck your head too. There's so many different things, but I think you have to just, in that case, just play for safety and still do what you can to get the guy down.
Hey, I just want to go back because you played for Texler, right?
I did.
What was that experience like, Jason Texler?
Texler was my guy. I think I still keep in contact with him. He was the 4 years that he was at San Marcos when I was there, he was there for longer, but the 4 years I was there, we did pretty well. So I'm grateful that he came in and did pretty well there and helped me get to where I'm at today. I'd say I'd give a lot of credit to him in high school, but yeah, he was a great coach, and I hope he's coaching in I don't know what school he's at now, but I know he's
coordinator
Eastlake.
Coordinator
Eastlake. That's right, Eastlake. Yeah. So I'm excited to see him do well. Hopefully he becomes a head coach again. So yeah.
Hey, is there a lot of pressure now? I can't imagine the money you're making and you're in LA or maybe Miami as opposed to Green Bay or Jacksonville. I mean, in LA, I guess you don't make that much money compared to everybody else. I guess it makes it better. But what's it like being that young in LA with that kind of money?
Oh, that's a great question. I think people ask me this all the time, and I've never been a materialistic or big spender guy. So I haven't really bought anything. I have an apartment up here, but besides that, I haven't really bought much. I'd say I'm a saver if that's what you're asking. I definitely don't consider myself a big spender.
What kind of car are you driving?
Okay. Well, that's probably the one other thing that I thought.
What are you driving?
I'd say I'm pretty fuel efficient, so I drive a Tesla.
Oh, busted. Hey, explain this to me, because I was getting ready for this interview, and I saw something that caught my eye as far as E plus R equals O. What does that mean?
So we had a mental, I guess you could say mental ed coach in college, and she would always say E plus R equals O. Event plus response equals outcome. And basically that just means how you respond to an event that is put in front of you will determine the outcome. So if you respond in like a poorly way, then you're going to get a poor outcome, a negative outcome. You got to be positive about most of the things that are put in front of you and just make the most of it.
Hey, most guys now have foundations. They have charities that are near and dear to them. Is there anything, any cause up there or any cause down here that you're locked into?
I think I've always been like really big in the special needs community. Last year, for my cause, my cleats, I did Cerebral Palsy Foundation. I've worked with a few foundations up here, but I'm definitely working on opening up my own foundation for like the special needs community. It's not like finished yet, but that's what I'm working on.
Not to bring up a sore subject, but you've already experienced your first serious injury in your rookie season.
Yes, sir.
One, does an event like that make you contemplate unexpectedly? I mean, you're a young guy and you hope to have a long career, but does it make you contemplate life after football? And then what does it take to psychologically recover from an injury that you physically recover from?
Good question. So I think you always have to think about life after football. I definitely wouldn't say I just went to college for football. I definitely went to get my degree as well, and I'm glad that I got it. Probably my biggest accomplishment this far in my life. But also when it comes to the injury, I think it took a lot. I think in the beginning of the injury, I didn't really realize how much I was hurting until I was able to walk again. And that day was pretty emotional for me. So I guess any advice I could give is to talk to somebody if you aren't feeling well, and also just keep your head up because it does get better. I'm walking, playing football again with my teammates. I'm blessed to be in the situation that I'm in. It was a long road, and I'm obviously going to have to work on my ankle for the rest of my life probably. But I think it's something that everything happens for a reason. And I'm as much as it sucked to happen, I'm glad that it did happen because I think it made me a better person in the end.
Can you do everything you used to do? I mean, have you checked your 40 time? Have you lost anything due to that injury?
I haven't checked my 40 time. I don't really run 40s very often, but I don't think I lost anything. I mean, it's obviously something you have to adjust to, but no, I think I'm still the player of that.
Well, he has a self-driving Tesla, so he doesn't need to use his foot for anything. Hey, what's your favorite high school or PPR memory looking back, football-wise?
Ooh, favorite PPR memory. As much as I loved being on the Prep Pigskin Report, I definitely I won a few raffles when I was in high school. I won an iPad that I still have on PPR, and so I'd say that one. Yeah, that's probably my favorite moment on PPR.
Terrell, I want to give you another chance to answer that question. What's your favorite high school memory? Because this is the second kid in a row who hasn't said the PPR gala was there. Was it?
Wow.
Oh, come
okay,
on.
That was obviously very fun, but I mean, as much as it was fun to be there, I didn't win, so I can't have that be my favorite moment.
So if we'd given you an iPad, though, you would have remembered it better.
Well, I did. I did win an iPad.
Yeah, that's true. You were playing hurt on the gala night. You were also hurt that night, weren't you? Didn't you have a?
That is true. I was very, very hurt. I had tore my labrum in my shoulder.
Yeah,
that
so
was.
I mean, so with that in mind, I mean, you've had two serious injuries. You're what, 22, 23? What are you now?
22, yeah. 22.
So you're a young guy, and when you have kids, are they going to play football? Are you going to learn to play football?
I haven't really thought about having kids anytime soon, but I think if they want to play football, by the time I have kids, I think the game will be completely different now. They might actually play flag by that point. So, I mean, if they want to, yeah, I'm not against it. I mean, maybe at a really, really young age, probably not tackle football, but I think I would let them if they wanted to. Yeah.
Terrell, I remember coming out.
I'd probably go for a different sport.
I remember coming out of Philadelphia in high school and wondering, how long do you feel obligated to the guys that covered you in high school, like Paul? Like, when are you going to not answer his texts anymore? Is there a time?
I mean, no, I don't think I'll ever be that type of person. I think I'll always do my best to answer and respond to people.
Hello, Terrell. This is Paul Rudy.
Can I take a picture of your Super Bowl trophy?
Can you send me a sweatshirt?
Hey, Terrell, you're in L.A. Obviously, you have to contemplate life after football. Everybody who's an athlete in that town ends up becoming an actor. Are you already? Do you have an inroads into the big screen or little screen?
I don't know. I've done a couple commercials since I've been out here, and let me tell you, that is part of the world that I have a lot of respect for, because that is very hard. Acting is not easy, I'd say. But, if the opportunity arises, I'm not going to – oh, sorry, my bad. If the opportunity arises, I definitely won't turn it down, but I definitely would say that I'm not shooting to be an actor. We'll put it that way.
I don't even know what else to ask.
Well, I do, because I want to go back to the financial end of things. You said you're not a spender saver, but
yes, sir.
We see so many guys in not just in football, but in sports in general, that make money, and then by the time they're done playing, it's all gone, either in lavish lifestyle or just divorce, whatever. Does the NFL work with young players? Does the team work with you about, hey, don't spend it, put it under a mattress and just sit on it?
Yes. You're actually, I think in your first 3 years in the NFL, you're required to do, during camp, you're required to do, how would you say it? Financial seminars. They have people come in on Zoom or in person, and you're required to do seminars about financial literacy and different things to help, grow your money, keep your money, save your money, all of that sort. So yes, they definitely help.
Yeah,
I wish they would have had that when I played.
Yeah,
we didn't make enough money.
You wouldn't be doing
this.
You wouldn't.
True.
You
know how good you got it? I was the 8th pick. My first year salary was $240,000.
Oh, wow. And Terrell was a 3rd round pick.
And he's making triple.
Yeah.
Quadruple.
Yeah. Hey, Terrell, before we go, two questions. Just one thing, because I want to speak past us and speak directly to the kids that are watching this, because just like when you were playing high school, you kind of were watching people thinking, hey, I want to play at the highest level. Now you're in a position where you're there. Can you speak to the kids who are watching you thinking the same thing?
The first thing I'll say is people always ask me oh, how cool is it? And I think there's moments all the time that I have where I'm wow, this is really the biggest stage. Me and one of my teammates were talking at the end of the game as we were walking off the field in Indianapolis the other day. And we're talking, we're looking around the stadium, and I'm wow, it doesn't get much bigger than this, it doesn't go any higher. This is crazy. We're in the NFL. I think I always have moments like that. And I think a lot of people get caught up in doing certain things to make sure that they make it. And I feel everybody's story is different. Everybody comes from different backgrounds. But the one thing that doesn't change around is working hard. So I think if you just work hard and, do what you can to, I guess even honestly in the classroom as well, you gotta have good grades. That's one of the first thing that scouts ask and coming to your college, how are your grades and things like that. Granted, it's not the same from high school to college, but it's definitely the same. So I'd say just work hard. It's a great feeling to make it this far. I definitely wouldn't say I came this far to only come this far. I definitely want to do some more things while I'm here, but just work hard, and dreams do come true. We'll put it that way.
Terrell, not to blow wind up your skirt, but you know what I like about you, what makes you one of my favorite guys to ever come down the pike on the show, is you went to Utah. The way it is now, if you don't play right away, kids go into the transfer portal and they find a place to play. And you stayed at Utah for 3 seasons, and you didn't start until your senior year, right?
Yeah, I had 1 start my sophomore year, and I think 2 or 3 my junior year. But yeah, I wasn't the official starter until my senior year.
And then you turned your senior season into becoming a 3rd round pick in the NFL, and I admire that. I admire a guy who honors his commitment and then makes that commitment work. And kudos to you, because that just speaks to your character and to the adults in your life who have helped make you the great man that you are. And I bet that he'll take my phone call 5 years from now.
I was thinking how things changed, because I remember back in the day, if your college team lost, you could not wear your college shirt on Tuesday, rehab day, or off day at the facility.
I actually made a bet with one of our coaches. I'm supposed to wear a San Diego State shirt tomorrow.
I was wondering that, yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Hey, Terrell, we've run out of questions, and I know you've got things. What does an NFL player do on a Tuesday in the NFL when you're done with his media commitments?
So every team is actually different, but today is actually our off day. After I get off here with you guys, I'm going to get in the sauna, probably do a little bit of recovery before I head home, and then maybe watch a little bit of film, but watch some Netflix. I don't really have too much to do.
What? Give us a Netflix recommendation. What's your Netflix recommendation?
I've got a lot of Netflix
give us one.
recommendations. Oh, if you have not seen the movie Den of Thieves, I would definitely advise you to watch that. Den of Thieves.
Starring who? Is that Netflix?
You know,
that is.
that's on Netflix. There's a lot of, I can't even think of the actors' names, but there's a few good actors in that movie.
All right, I'm gonna watch it and I'll give you my review. I'll email you my review.
Oh, definitely.
Do you watch
that.
Ted Lasso?
No, I've never heard of it.
It's on Apple. Oh, you have to have Apple TV.
I have Apple TV.
Then watch. If you haven't watched Ted Lasso, it's a comedy. It's a feel-good comedy. It's about sports. You'll like it. Ted Lasso. Lasso.
Oh, is that? I think my mom was talking about that. Is that with the guy from not Horrible Bosses, but like
Jason Sudeikis, and he goes.
Yes.
He's the coach of Wichita State, and he goes and becomes a premier soccer coach. It's funny.
Yes.
You'll like it. It's got jock humor. You'll.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely start watching that today.
Hey, young man, thank you for doing this on such short notice. It's greatly appreciated, and I promise I won't bother you again until our 25-year anniversary of the PPR.
Sounds great. All right, no problem. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.